Hello there. It's me, Caroline, from Mystery Hair. I just made the dog jump. Look at her. Look at her cuteness. Say hello, Wilfred. Right, Lucy and I are here today to talk to you about rebranding your business. I'm not sure she likes being perched up on the table. Let's get her lying back down on the lap. Right. Oh, yes, and welcome to my new studio. It's all very exciting. Hi, Imogen. Thank you very much for joining me today. So, a lot has happened in the last few weeks. I know I didn't do a live last week. That's because I was skiving because it was my birthday and I was being spoilt and very lazy. So, I didn't do anything. Well, I did stuff, just shopping stuff, not work stuff. Um, so, stuff has happened, and we now are lucky enough to have some of our rooms back because we've had some people move out of our house. Long story. But that means that I now have my very own studio in the house so I can save on rent every month. As you can see, I'm halfway done, as is demonstrated by my half painted printer's tray. Look at it. Look at the collection. It's growing. Okay. And then let me see if I can spin it around. So that's my chair for my clients to sit and chill. It was neat, but then Lucy jumped up and messed it up. Look at the candle and the table. I know, I love it. And spin it around. There's all my stuff. There's my second chair if anyone wants to sit down and work at my table with me. And then this wall, don't tell Jason, but I'm going to paint a mural on there, maybe my logo. And then that brings us back to, I need to drop the dog, to this blank wall. Oh yeah, and my desk. I love it. Anyway, it's all very exciting. So I've painted walls, cleaned up stains, pulled the pulled the furniture. Yeah, pulled the furniture in, and it's all set up, and it's amazing. It's crazy because when I moved into the studio that I had in the city, it really helped me to define the what branding does for a business, because it was just having that space to go out to work really clarified for me, like, this is what branding does. It gives you that feeling of, all right, I'm committed to my business now. I've got the space that I pay for every month, and I really need this to work, otherwise I'm going to feel like a fool. uh, which is silly. It's a silly exercise, but it meant that it just really boosted my confidence into, like, actually, this is what branding does for my clients. It gives them the confidence that they're running a business, not just a side project, that is a business, not just a hobby, that is actually a viable business that can help them to become successful and to create a life that they really want to live. Uh, so now that I've left that and now I'm working out of my house, it's still awesome because I've made this room my own. It's right at the top of the house. Yes, Imogen. That's why I've got the spare chair, because I want loads of people to come and work with me in my office. And it's all the way upstairs, so my mum-in-law can't reach me, and hopefully she'll forget that I'm even here because she's got Alzheimer's. And then I could also just keep a little cheeky ear out for if she falls or does anything dilly. So I'm really excited about this. I haven't been able to fully immerse myself into my office space just yet because Jason's been on holiday last week and this week, and the man does not know how to occupy himself. I'm starting to realize that, is this what retirement's going to be like? Am I going to have to snuff him out in his sleep? Oh, so if you haven't seen the comment, Imogen reckons that she has old lady knees and she can't walk up the stairs. You'll be fine. You'll just have to have a pot to pee in when you come, so you don't have to go up and down all the time. Right, anywho, I'm doing what I always do and waffling on. So today, I'm very excited because I was going to do what I'm doing, which is discussing about rebranding your business. When is it worth doing? Is it worth doing? The whole thing. And then I got sidetracked and got excited about, I need to create a client avatar. And then last minute, I nearly cancelled this one. But then I realized it's all part of the big picture. So even creating a client avatar is actually part of this process. And it's something that I haven't really sat down and done. So I want to really, really research creating a client avatar. That's a new one. I want to research it so that I can give a really good description of how to do it, and I want to fulfill the exercise myself. So I'm guessing with creating an avatar, it's going to be really similar to looking at rebranding your business, and this is small businesses. So this is when you're in a small business, your business takes on your personality, because for the most part you are your business. Normally it's one person, so like me, like Imogen, we're one person who run our business. Is that good English? Runs our business. And so the way that we want to liaise with people and interact with people and create relationships is going to be all about us, our life experiences, and that's going to be reflected in the business, because ultimately when you push out your visual communication and you want customers to come back to you, it can't be a big surprise. I just realized like how tatty my top looks. Sorry, I haven't ironed it, and I think there's makeup on. No, just shadow. Anyway, yeah, so when they come back to you, they're not going to be surprised to see that you're completely different from your branding, because it all has to be consistent. It's all got to reflect the right tone and right personality, etc. So when I'm looking at rebranding, it's more a case of having a reflection, going through your stuff and seeing, does my branding reflect truly who my business is and how the service is provided, what the offerings are? Does it all create this well-rounded story? Is the perception of my business accurate? So when I'm talking rebranding is like the most extreme example, because basically what rebranding means is that you're having a look at your brand and you're going, none of this is working, we need to start all the way from scratch and begin again. But there is such a thing as actually refreshing or brand evolution. So it's kind of within the rebranding arena, but it's a lot less of a crazy kind of push. Now, an example of this is Crabtree and Evelyn. I got really excited the other day because I've been doing some research for customer logos recently, and a couple of the brands would really suit an urban apothecary style. And when I was researching brands within the urban apothecary style, then I came across Crabtree and Evelyn. Now, I used to work for Crabtree and Evelyn, not as a designer, unfortunately, just as like I nearly said vice president, but what's a vice manager? Oh my word! So I was not the manager. I was the assistant manager. What the hell? As usual, I have forgotten all words. And I loved the brand. I loved the way that it was designed, but it was very flowery and very old lady. And then I came across it quite recently, and it has like completely changed. The style is beautiful. And looking more into it recently, like I said, for research for a client, they've basically completely started again. They've kept a few of their popular fragrances. They had a name for it, I can't remember, like the originals or something like that. They've kept a small handful of their fragrances that they're well known for, but everything else, the packaging, they've gone slick. They've lost the whole floral old lady vibe. They've definitely are competing in the urban apothecary vibe. So, which is amazing, because their ingredients and the quality of their product has always been at the top. But unfortunately, they only, remembering from my retail days, they only made their money in the July sales and Christmas. So basically, those 2 seasons, excuse the plane if you can hear it, those 2 seasons would fund the business for the rest of the year, which in my mind, it was like, I mean, it was boring as shit working there. It was like so dull because there was hardly any customers. And it gave me plenty of time to learn about the product. But, you know, as a person, what was I, in my 20s? It was like, oh, I can't even. It was just it was so boring. So I'm really excited. But that is an extreme version. What they've done is they've fully rebranded. The logo is different. They've lost the tree. I mean, like, have a look online. Have a look at Crabtree and Evelyn rebranding, and you'll probably see what I mean. So that is a huge risk, because basically what you're doing is throwing away your loyal customer base, because let's face it, they were appealing to the old lady market for a reason. That was their market. That was Christmas presents and birthday presents for the grandkids or for themselves to make their house beautiful. And they had what's the word when you've got more money than sense? Expendable income. I don't know. Anyway, so they took a huge risk to basically throw away everything that had taken them on this journey and just pretty much start again, because what they'll be doing is alienating their core client base and hoping to start again. So it's quite a risky move, and I hope it works out for them, because their stuff is just awesome. It looks really beautiful, like the design. I mean, I don't know what the actual stuff smells like because it's still so expensive. But anyway, so that's an extreme example, is my point. And I think for small business, you need to be constantly reviewing your business. So this is not just your branding, but that's an important part of it. You should be reviewing your business every few months, maybe 6 months. It's probably a good idea for me to make a note to do that at some stage, since I'm talking about it and I haven't done it. So you should be looking at what is my service, what are my offerings, what promotions do I offer. And the way that I like to brand for customers is I brand it on the humanity behind the business. I think in recent years it's shown that small businesses are really successful for a reason. It's because we are good at focusing on our customer, not about being hugely successful. I personally don't want to become Coca-Cola. I don't want to become so big that I have to have a team of people around me, because that's a whole set of other things. I don't want to be a manager of people running my business. I want to run my business, and I'm sure my goals will change, which is the point of the refresh and reviewing your business. Because you are the face of your business, you as a person will grow and change and learn and experience new things, which will enhance your business offerings, enhance the service that you provide. You will, those noises, by the way, are not me farting. It is the dog on my lap, just in case. It's just very embarrassing. Yes, have a look at the camera. So when you are reviewing your business and reviewing your brand, what it means is that you're having a look at, has your business changed? Has it evolved over the years? Because you've evolved, you've learned, and you hopefully have gotten better at serving your customers. And then part of that review is looking at your branding. And when you think of branding, you need to realize that branding is really just a visual communication of a set of things. So it's very professional. So when I work with my clients and create a brand, create a logo, and I don't just create a logo, I create a brand, because a logo is a very small part of a brand, and your brand is your visual communication to your clients. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to attract your ideal client. And I find that attracting the ideal client based on a set of emotional, like humanity, is going to create a really rich relationship that has longevity, which is demonstrated in Imogen's constant support. She's amazing. She's always coming on here. We've worked together loads, and I feel like it's now more of a friendship than a client to service provider relationship, and I love that. She will be my biggest advocate, and like I probably said in other videos, like, that's stuff that you can't buy. That's stuff that Apple is the reason why they're so successful, is they don't create customers, they create advocates. Is advocate the right word? Have I gone on? Yes. I had to check my notes, because you know me, and I use words wrong. So what I do is as I've talked about before, is I create a set of brand personality adjectives. So the first exercise you'll do with me is you'll go through and you will there's a few sections. So one is, what are your ideals and your motives? Like what are the things that are core to you as a person? Like what ethics do you truly believe in that you would hopefully never let go of? So mine is, I think I'm getting better. I mean, blunt, but and what that is because I know it comes across as rude sometimes. So I'm trying to get better. Is that I'm just really honest, and I don't. I I feel like it's a time waster to skirt around the issues, when you could just be like, you know what, that is not working for you, and here are the reasons why. Instead of trying to pretty up the language, because it's just I'm doing it. I'm being honest from a place of gen genuinely wanting to help. And I know it comes across as blunt, and I will try and get better. Sorry at the table, the dog's moving. Right, so that's one of my things, is that no matter how much I try, I can't let go of my honesty. It's just, it comes out. So that's going to be one of my personality traits for my brand. So it's going to um, what's the word? It's going to influence every part of my decision making for my business, because that's a huge part of who I am. I'd like to think that I'm funny, but it's probably more quirky and weird. So again, that would feature quite heavily in my branding and in my messaging as well. So you go through an exercise of like, okay, these are my core set of values. These are really personal to me. These are things I really strongly believe in. And then you'll go on to things like, well, how do I envisage treating my clients? Now, these brand personality adjectives don't have to be accurate to right now. They can have accurate descriptions, but also aspirational. So you could put things like really organized, because you're organized, but you're not really organized. So it's a stupid example, but you're trying to get to somewhere, not just define where you are right now. So hopefully with my client, I mean, I've used myself as an example because I'm here. My brand personality for dealing with clients would hopefully be friendly, casual, helpful, hopefully generous. Sometimes it's probably more of a problem for me because I give more than I charge for. but but it makes me feel good, so it goes in there. Then you have a set of, I'm trying to think of them all because if they're not on paper in front of me, I forget. One of the important ones is market positioning. So then you would look at brands that you really admire, and so mine are Benefit Cosmetics, Urban Decay, Tatty Divine. So those three are really good. And when you look at them, I realize, well, I really like them because they're very strong-willed. They have a strong message. They're all about inclusivity. They express diversity in a really positive way, and they're brave, they're quirky, they're funny. That's why I'm drawn to those. Is because of the movement that they're creating. They're not just a product. And that's why Apple is so successful. They are about a set of values, and they create some really loyal customers for Apple. I mean, when you buy into Apple, you buy into everything, and the product is almost like second to there. So that is a really, really strong brand, and that's how I like to work with creating logos. And this is not to say this is the way that everyone will create logos or create branding. This is just the way that I want to do it, because it gives me so much fulfillment, and it also creates a relationship of longevity. It creates friendships and really rich interactions with my clients. So that's what I kind of push for, and that's how I work. If you want the exercise, you want the brand personality exercise, just hit me up and I can send it to you in an email, because I know there's two more categories I'm forgetting, but that's not the point of today's chat. So and I'm already on flipping 20 minutes, so I need to wrap up. Right, so what branding as a whole does for you as a business owner is it helps you to clarify the important things, and it helps you to simplify everything. You start to you start to recognize um, things that you can automate, stuff that you can schedule. It helps you to figure out what kind of things do I want to post about, because once you have your brand defined, you then realize, well, I'm not going to post about that thing because it's not who I am as a person or as a business. So it wouldn't make sense. It would be then a disjointed message and there wouldn't be consistency in the brand. So branding is not just about the logo. You've got your logo, which will help to set the perception from your ideal clients, but it's about knowing who your ideal clients are, which I'm going to be doing that one soon, defining them so that you can accurately speak to them and accurately attract them to who you are as a business. It is about uh, figuring out your tone of voice. Like, are you serious? Are you quirky and fun? So I can get away with a lot of stuff that potentially a massage therapist or beauty therapist couldn't, because there's a different set of expectations when you go to get a facial than when you're coming to someone to get a logo designed. And you've got to, at some respects, you've got to meet those expectations. And if you are breaking the expectations, there needs to be a reason why, and that gets spelt out within your brand as well. It's about your tone of voice. So the way that I do blogs and post on social media is again very casual. And where the way I deal with my clients is I basically interact with them like I've known them for years. The trouble with that I've just discovered recently is that I have a brain that is just really forgetful, and sometimes I convince myself, crap, I do know them, but where do I know them from? So I never really get to know like how people have found me, because I convinced myself that I've forgotten where I've met them instead of just asking. So that's something I'm going to work on. But anyway, um, so let's move on very rapidly to rebranding versus refreshing your brand or evolving your brand. So when you're reviewing your business, you identify from then till now, and you realize, like, damn, I'm like actually offering something different to what I did in the early days, but my branding is still reflective of the early days. So a refresh or a brand evolution is amazing content for marketing, um, especially when you take your clients on the journey with you. So think about it. If you create yourself like a, oh, I can't think of words, an event at the end of it to reveal your logo, or you reveal the outcome of your brand evolution exercise. This is material that you can take customers on, so you can set a brand evolution that takes maybe 3, maybe 6 months, and in stages you're taking your customers on the journey. So you post some teasers in the early days of, oh, there's some exciting things happening with mystery hair, I can't wait to share it with you. And then you do a lot of those type of posts for a while, and then you start revealing more information. Things like, I've reviewed my brand recently, and I realize that the people I love working with are blah blah blah. So you're starting now to share with people who your ideal client is, the type of client that you love working with, and then so you basically drop little tidbits along the way. I've just realized how messed up my hair is, but anyway. And so by the time your reveal happens at the end, this is my updated logo. It's not going to be a huge shock and a surprise like a rebranding exercise would be, because you've taken your clients and your audience on the journey with you. And again, this gives you like 3 to 6 months, probably longer, of talking about your brand, talking about the core values that you have within your business and as a person. And so if you're ever struggling for social media content, then you've got like half a year of worth of stuff right there just from evolving your brand. The other thing that it does is, so you want your branding to accurately reflect your services, the way that those services are provided, your offerings. Also checking that your client base is who you think it is, and all of that starts to create the perception. And you want, the branding isn't really about you. The branding is reflecting a set of criteria in order to attract your ideal client. So what sometimes the challenging conversation that I need to have with clients is, I know that you like this color and that this color is attractive to you, but is it saying what you think it's saying to the customers out there? So there's years and years of conditioning that means that we associate a set of values with colors, and that is confirmed with brands using those set of conditioning values in that way. So it carries on. So a more recent version of that is light blue has flipped the conditioning a little bit, because a light blue before would, and it still contains these values, fresh and young, and exciting, on a lesser level trustworthy, because blue is like a trustworthy traditional color. But a light blue has got a bit of yellow in, so it's a bit more fun and vibrant. But now it also represents technologically advanced and also social and interactive, because of brands like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And you'll notice that LinkedIn color palette is darker because it's for business networking rather than just friends and family networking like Facebook and Twitter is. So are the colors that you like, fair enough, you like this color, but does it reflect your business? Is it creating the perception for your client base, so that when they come to you, they know exactly what they expect? Or is it going to be a complete shock, and you're going to maybe rub people up the wrong way? So I realize I'm yakking on for time, so I'm just going to check that I've done everything. Yes, so this is all the stuff that is important for us small business owners. And the amazing thing, today's challenge, if you ever sit and think, oh, I wish I was larger, I wish I had the security of creating so much money that I give myself a salary, etc. Today's challenge with larger businesses is that they are perceived as just after as many customers as they can get, which means that you as a client then feel like just a number. Just yeah, so then it starts to feel like they're out of touch with the client, with their needs. They also can't pivot and change quick enough, as we've noticed over the COVID-19 era. But we've been able to flip and change really, really quickly. It might not feel like that in the moment, because for a lot of us, it's been really, really panic inducing, not knowing if we're going to survive as a business. But we're on a very enviable position where we can actually pivot and change. And look, this whole COVID thing has meant that I'm committing to Facebook Living, about to say every week, but last week I Skyped, so almost every week. And larger businesses can't do that. So now, what larger businesses are trying to focus on, and this is true, I worked quite recently with a medium to large size business. And again, it was about honing in on their core values, their set of core values. Now, they're big enough to share their core values on their website, whereas smaller businesses, it's just about us reminding ourselves of what are our core values, what is our brand personality, and how can we use that information to reflect our business accurately and to create the perception that we want our customers to have of us. It's the same thing with larger businesses. They need to remember their humanity and the fact that they're selling to other humans, and that we as customers, we really respect being treated as a person and being valued as someone who's actually helping that business to thrive and survive. So that's what we did with the business that I worked on recently. We defined the set of core values. We reflected that in the color palette. We reflected that in the typeface that we used. And then also, does the photography match that? Are we actually saying, is the photography creating an impression of the lifestyle that we believe reflects the client base or even their aspirations. So there's a lot to it, and it's very, very valuable, I feel, to concentrate on the set of core values. So, wrapping up, because I've been seriously, I have to make these much shorter. I need to cut them in half. Uh, so, if you want any help with going through a brand personality exercise, hit me up because I can send it to you. You can do it yourself, or we can book like a half an hour phone call or something, and we can go through, and I can help guide you through the process, and you can define it and see, perhaps get some ideas from me on how you can reflect that in a way that makes sense. Um, yeah, so I'm going to end there because there is so much more that I could talk about. I think what I'll do is work it into next week's call, so I'm not yakking on for ages. Mainly because I'm also aware that Imogen is loyally sitting and watching, and she has shit to do. She's a very busy lady. So I gotta stop. But yes, very soon, Imogen. Jason goes back to work next week, so you need to come around and do some admin at my desk. Right, have a great day. And thank you for watching. If you're watching this on repeat, still send me messages, put some comments in the box. I'll be keeping an eye on them. And hopefully, we get to see each other soon. All right, I'm going to end now. Have a great day. Bye.